Bitcoin dominance falling, total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum making a massive monumental weekly candle to the upside. The crypto boom that we just talked about in the video the other day beginning. The trigger happening now on this Bitcoin daily chart. Hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. Let's jump into the video. First off, I just want to say I hope you all are enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying this. And I really want to say we are just getting started. This move is at the very beginning of the move. So I want to start with Bitcoin dominance, and then I want to work our way over to the total crypto market cap charts, and then end on the Bitcoin daily chart, because this move that's happening right now on the daily, getting at a critical area that I want to discuss, meaning overextension now from a key moving average and what to anticipate going into this new week. So let's start here on the Bitcoin daily chart, altcoin season within 30 days. This was a video I did yesterday. Now I want to start with a very quick clip, and then we're going to discuss, is this going to be a higher low and Bitcoin actually goes higher? So don't be so immediately faked out and fooled by this move right here at the Fibonacci. This could be it. This could be the So 59% dominance when I did that video fell down to 58% dominance. And you can just see right now Bitcoin dominance at this 50-day moving average. It's a higher low. I want to talk about it because in that video, we were discussing kind of this, there's kind of a 30-month or 30-day window until the speculative altcoin season begins, when Bitcoin, if it follows history, actually really starts falling here. And if that was the case, if it really repeated in such an accurate, consistent way, and there's 30 days left, there's room for another swing high for Bitcoin. I just want to be careful in regards to that. And I'm very curious to see what Bitcoin dominance here does on the 50-day moving average. Now, this is where things kind of begin getting exciting, especially if you're an altcoin holder and you're watching altcoin markets. You go over here to really, this is the altcoin chart. This is excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. These are altcoins sitting at around $720 billion right now. To give you a perspective real briefly, we're still around 35% down from all-time high. So this is how ground floor we are. What we're waiting for is just to break this line, and that is the previous swing high that we had back here in March. Now, this is becoming important because if we look at last cycle when altcoin season really exploded, it was escaping a very similar area. Here's a swing high, it consolidated and it exploded away from that area. We are essentially kind of like right here in terms of the cycles. We're waiting for this massive sonic boom that we've been talking about for altcoin markets. And you can see on this chart, it's not even happened yet. Right now, you go to CoinMarketCap, altcoins looking really nice, and we're getting the beginning of this sonic boom, but it's not happened yet. Look at just the top cryptos, and we're talking about big time cryptos too. Cardano, 87% 7-day gains, 42% 24-hour. Shiba, Doge, massive gains for these top cryptos. Polkadot's up here with 43% gains. So it is beginning, and altcoin markets right now are kind of following the lead of certain Bitcoin triggers. And this is where we get this. This was from 2 days ago, crypto sonic boom, Bitcoin about to trigger altcoin season. And this is the trigger, everybody, on the weekly. So let's talk about Bitcoin price because there's a lot to watch right now, including the case for Bitcoin dominance in kind of a crypto-wide consolidation, Bitcoin dominance to get another swing high. This is something to be careful of. Don't get just so overly hyped and overly bullish and think that it's just going to be green candle after green candle. Altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin from here on out because it's not guaranteed at all. And there's a strong case that doesn't happen just yet. So Bitcoin dominance is consolidating, but here's what we have on the daily chart. This is that neckline. And in this video, I asked a very simple question, and now we can start answering it. Let's take a quick look. That is where that neckline is. How will Bitcoin interact? Is there resistance? We've seen resistance already at all-time high area, this entire hot zone that we're in, and we can really expand the hot zone up to here, this neckline, because it's the neckline, everybody, of this massive inverse head and shoulders. This is a multi-year setup. This is altcoin market trigger. Are we going to, and we have only 4 hours left of the weekly candle, by the way. We might get a close above that area. This is monumental. This is worth putting in a title of a video. But we start digging into the data and we look at the daily chart. And this is really what I want to discuss going into this new week. So right now, if we just measure, this is such a key thing, and I'm going to be talking about this a lot in a bull environment. It's overextension from the moving averages. Here's the 50-day moving average in blue down here. You can see it's around $66,000. Right now, Bitcoin overextended 21% to the wick high. Right now, overextended around 19%. When we get, and I say this so many times, really over the years, when we get 20% plus, 20%, 30% overextended from moving average, the 50-day moving average, it's time to, at the very least, start evaluating for consolidation, start anticipating consolidation. That doesn't mean that it always happens that way. It doesn't mean Bitcoin won't keep going and then we're at 35% overextension. All of a sudden it's breaking $90,000. But when you get to the 20, 30% overextension, be careful. Let's go to last cycle at this almost exact moment. Bitcoin, here's altcoin season last cycle. So we're in the very similar area time frame wise, the beginning of the bull market. I just want to point something out to you. Even then, Bitcoin's so bullish, right? 12,000, 14,000, 17,000, and it keeps going, right? It keeps going. But notice on the way, here we have an 18% overextension. That's from the 20-day. But if we look at this from the 50-day in blue, 21% overextension, it consolidated. Very nice higher highs and higher lows. If you zoom in on a move like that, it's just such a nice looking, just type of rising channel on Bitcoin in a bull market. It's just such a nice setup. I love those patterns when looking at these Bitcoin charts, but it was consolidating, right? And then it broke out again, around 20% overextension. What happened? It consolidated again. You can see some red candles right there. And if we even measure the swing high to swing low, we're looking at a 10% dip or so for Bitcoin. And then it continued higher. And then we have overextension from the 20-day moving average around 20%, from the 50-day moving average around 39%. So, and by the way, this previous move was overextension from the 50-day around 33%. So that 20 to 30% area, start evaluating. Start just waiting and at least anticipating and being careful for consolidation. So we go to Bitcoin now. We have a couple things happening. We're getting the overextension around 20%. It could go higher, but we have the overextension happening, and we have this neckline here. This neckline is one of the most outrageous patterns that Bitcoin has ever seen. And we are at the beginning of what I think is going to be just one of the craziest. I really think it's going to be one of the craziest bull cycles. So on this daily chart, what's Bitcoin doing at that area, right? That's the question. And by the way, this is so much time right here that has passed. This is all the way back here in March. This is just the right shoulder of the setup. So remember what it looks like on the weekly, right? So we're very zoomed in here, but that's why I'm saying this setup is outrageous going into a bull cycle. So overextended, what's this consolidation look like? Well, the very first area I'm watching for, if Bitcoin's going to fall, if it's going to fall, I should say, $77,000. What's Bitcoin doing there? But notice when we get overextension, this is why I like just overextension or separation from key areas. It gives us space to fall, right? So we have all of this hot zone resistance Bitcoin was kind of struggling with, and now we're getting kind of away from it. It gives us space to fall back into that area. I know many of you might not like to see the lower 70s again, or even the upper 60s, but it's very in play. It is very normal for Bitcoin if it's going to fall back down into this entire region. It's very normal for Bitcoin if it's going to even fall back to this upper trend line. So it's something to anticipate. In terms of upside, I just want to say this. We are at this $80,000. I mean, we're getting to this point where every $10,000 now, especially because we're in price discovery for Bitcoin, every $10,000 is a mental area, right? It's a mental area, $80,000, $90,000. Imagine $100,000 getting to that area. So because these are kind of mental areas that people are really just eyeing up, we can anticipate some resistance. So right now we're at the $80,000 area. The question I have, as Bitcoin does kind of, if it continues breaking higher, 20% plus overextension from this 50-day moving average, what does the structure look like? If Bitcoin does fall, right? If it falls now, what kind of structure are we getting? And I talk about this a lot in terms of anticipating. Is it a symmetrical triangle? Is it some type of falling channel? What is it? That's what I'll be waiting for. But right now, if you're an altcoin holder, we are getting very close to the sonic boom. We are getting very close to, man, you almost don't believe what you're seeing on these charts. But I want to give it a little bit more time. I want to watch Bitcoin dominance now on this chart. This is right at the daily 50-day moving average, Bitcoin trying to put in some support. If Bitcoin starts falling, I'm going to really start raising my eyebrows, because we might be in an environment, if we look at the weekly chart, where Bitcoin starts approaching this 20-week moving average. Because look, that's what we want to see Bitcoin fall. If you're an altcoin holder, you want altcoin season, you want to see Bitcoin start falling, plummeting through that green line, the 20-week moving average, all the way down here around 57%. So let's monitor. Let's just keep watching, especially as we go into this new week. Things are getting so exciting, everybody. And just let me know your thoughts in the comments. This has been fun tracking this. And now we are at the moment. We wait years for this. I do almost daily analysis waiting for this moment, and we are here. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. We're going to continue tracking it. I appreciate all of you out there. I appreciate your support. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.